Hi, everyone. I hope that you're having a great day. This past week, we looked at standing firm in our faith. We looked at the book of Daniel, chapter 10. And here, Daniel, quite elderly at this time, been standing in faith his entire life in the Lord, and was just about to see some breakthrough on some prayers. He had been praying that his people would be allowed to return to their homeland. He was kidnapped when he was a young teen. He prayed that his people would be able to return home, that the city would be able to be rebuilt, that the temple, the place where they worshiped, the center of their culture, would be able to be rebuilt. And then he has a dream, a vision of more war and more trouble. And he's at a point where he's like, Lord, what's going on? Is it even worth it anymore? And so he begins to seek the Lord. He fasts for 21 days. In 21 days, he does what he always did, which was to go to the Lord first in prayer. And through his story, we learn some things. As a messenger, the Lord finally arrives to him. We learn that the Lord cares far more about us than we care about ourselves. We may think we care for ourselves, but the Lord cares way more than we could ever care for ourselves. And we also learn that the Lord is doing far greater things than we could ever imagine. Just because we can't see action, just because we can't see results, doesn't mean that the Lord isn't active and moving. In the story of Daniel, we see how the Lord heard his prayer the very first day, but there was a supernatural battle going on that didn't allow God's messenger to arrive to him until day 21. Take encouragement in that we may not see the action of God, but that doesn't mean that God is not active and moving. But it requires us to really just to get out of the way and be humble. And that's the third thing that we learn, that it is in our weakness that God's strength is made perfect. And it isn't that he waits for us to get to a point of incredible weakness. It's really that's the point where we get out of the way and can allow him to show up and to do amazing things. So if you're challenged right now and you've been praying for something for a long time and you're not seeing what you think are the results, just remember that God cares for you far more than you could ever care for yourself. That just because we can't see action doesn't mean that God isn't active. And it's when we are at our weakest that God's strength is most visible. God bless you and have a great week. Hope to see you Sunday.